The following program is sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Georgetown Media in Ely, Nevada. Regional Planning Commission meeting, October 20th, 2021.
Call meeting to order. Andy, will you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. The October 20th Planning Commission meeting. We open up for public comment. Commission reserves the right to reduce the time or limit total time allowed for public comment. Comments during this discussion items may not be accepted from the general public. Commission may prohibit comment if the content of the comments are willfully disruptive of the meeting or being slanderous, offensive, inflammatory, irrational, or amounting to personal attacks or interference with the rights of other speakers. Persons are invited to submit comments in writing on the agenda items and attend to make comments on the items of the commission meeting. We shall open up at this point to public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, in regards to your item A on the home occupation, I noticed that they didn't have a state business license. And again, this is the second one that has come before you that did not pay that fee while others have. No difference whether they're doing janitorial, whether they're doing consulting, and yet they had to pay the fee. I want to know why there's such a difference. Mr. Chairman, I got a letter from you in regards to being more specific on my concerns, especially with the violations of certain council members, commission members, and members of this board being in violation. City Councilman Ernie Flanks is encroaching on the city property, city right-of-way, I should say. He's got buildings that are attractive nuisance. They've come after me. I've got my property fenced off. I've painted it. He has done nothing. Vehicles. They're going after people's vehicles in the community, hauling them off, yet his are not licensed. They're on the city right-of-way, and yet nothing is done. Across the street from me, now he's added 5 more cars. Again, either we have rules and regulations or we don't. The discrimination needs to stop. Councilman Alworth had a home occupation, no special permit. I don't know if he was paying the proper utilities, moved from there out in the county. Again, no special use permit. Others have to pay it. We have to be consistent. Councilman Spear has equipment stored on an empty lot, not fenced off. A Vietnam veteran was forced to get a special permit because it was a residential area. Same with this. You had to go to a hearing. Why the discrepancy? That needs to stop. We have old houses along Campton. Attractive nuisance, in disrepair. My property's fenced off, yet they came after me. You can't discriminate. There's no motel on Altman. Attractive nuisance, broken windows, no fencing. Again, don't come after me or anybody else. Recently, the state did a construction project on Great Basin Boulevard. They put a utility box on the corner of my property on the west end, 7 inches higher than the curb that they poured. When I complained about it, they said, we'll take care of it. They did. They backfilled the opening, covered around the utility box, and then poured another 7 inches on top of the curb and gutter that they installed improperly. Now when you go off there, thinking you're going to step off 6 inches, you're going to drop a foot. Again, we have rules and regulations, and it's within the city limits. That also concerns you folks.
Okay.
Their standards have been adopted, and they need to be adhered to.
Okay, time's up.
We need to address that, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay. public comment. We move to item A on the agenda, discussion for possible action, home occupation agreement for bookkeeping business. Applicant is Leah Cripps, DBA Cripps Bookkeeping. The question has been raised about the exemption fee. Is there a comment on that?
You can discuss, whether or not you're accepting the state's exemption or not,
Right.
but she's submitted it with her
It was duly
application.
submitted and
Yeah.
duly processed.
I don't know if it's because it's primarily an online business or what that O03 code, I'm sorry, specifically states, but obviously.
NC7.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But obviously she's applied and got the exemption.
Okay.
I mean, there's no obvious indication of any false misrepresentations or fraud
Right.
that we know of.
Things have been duly notarized
And I believe the home occupations with the state are based on what the maximum anticipated income is. So under a certain amount, they become exempt.
Okay, makes perfect sense. So they don't expect to reach that cap, so. Okay, do you have any other comments on,
So I take it that she was notified that she needed to come to the meeting.
I did not send an additional email. They usually try to tell them when they apply for these, when the meetings are. So I'm hoping that they did that, but I can't say that.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess typically in this kind of application, which we've done similar stuff before, I've always asked, the standard questions of, parking, that kind of things, and it seems like it's been made in here in this home occupation agreement, that a lot of those questions are put on there, or, sorry, those points are put on there, and they know about those things, so, I mean, I would probably answer, or ask those just as a general question, I'm sure I get an answer of, yes, I am aware of it,
right,
parking situation, and how many people you can have in there, all that stuff, so, I guess at this point, I mean, if she's not here, can we go ahead and approve this then? I don't really wanna table it, because
right.
tabling it would, if we don't get it within X amount of days, then we automatically approve it, is that correct?
No.
Is that,
Yeah,
No.
that's on partial maps.
okay, all right, so that doesn't fall into the same category then.
Yeah, she did sign the agreement on here, there is on the last one, on H, it's like they are reviewed annually, so there should be a problem with traffic or something like that. Could always be decided.
And I think seeing as how she's exempted under the license because of the amount of customers she, projects of having, it's gonna be a very, very light number of customers that she's gonna have. So there's not gonna be a lot of traffic at her place.
Yeah, I don't see any issues with it. I move to approve.
George had a comment? No?
Okay.
We open this up for public comment at all?
Public comments beginning, yeah.
Okay,
I'll second that motion.
okay. It's been moved to approve it and seconded by Carol. And all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, it passes unanimously. And please let Leah know, congratulations. Okay,
Where is her business, since I
Have any made?
just
It's on the
continued
H.
paperwork?
1100 Avenue H.
I'm assuming it's her own home. I'm
yeah,
assuming.
that's your, I drove by there. And it's-
Yeah.
It's a residence. Okay. Now, I guess we'll move on to item B, discussion regarding building and zoning codes within the city of Ely and White Pine. Anybody have any input?
I don't.
No?
Not anything specific right now.
Okay.
I'm cleaning out my stuff at home and I may come across it.
Okay.
Get through.
You need to speak up, Carol. Can't hear you. Where's the sound system?
Sorry, George, I know I can talk loud enough without the sound system, so I'm sorry I didn't speak up.
So you could speak up and let him know what you're saying, then.
Yeah.
She may have some things forthcoming, but not at the moment.
As soon as I get the last 20 years of stuff organized.
Okay.
Answer my 20 years of questions first.
I answered them for the last 20 years.
You've ignored me for 20 years.
Okay, that, all right.
Okay, we'll move on to item C. Approval of minutes from Regional Planning Commission held on September 15th. Anybody see anything glaring in there, Carol?
I didn't get a copy of the minutes.
Oh, okay. I didn't see anything right off the bat either.
Well, I didn't put it through my spell check, but I think everything else is good.
I've looked through it a couple of times myself and I didn't see anything really.
Well, I spelled all the names.
Right. I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Motion approved from Jason.
A second.
Okay, Carol seconds. All those in favor of approval of the minutes, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved from the 15th. Okay, now we move on to public comment again. Period of voted comments, general public, any discussion is comments, and no action may be taken upon the matter under the item of the agenda until the matter itself has been specifically included in the agenda as an item upon which action will be taken. Public comment?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'm going to continue with the selective enforcement. You folks make up rules and regulations for everybody. I want to remind you that on Avenue D, on the ingress egress going onto the state highway, the road is much too narrow. Big vehicles are pushing that rock and knocking down the stop sign in that area. It's been knocked down more than once. In regards to the Great Basin project, Chapter 2 Administration in Nevada.
Really quick, I'm sorry, is that the one on Altman Street, like going out?
No,
where the
no,
railroad
Avenue
tracks
D,
go?
That's the pork chop.
Holiday Inn,
Oh,
The Avenue D.
or you're
pork chop.
approaching Highway 93 going north.
yeah.
I can't,
We submitted something
jump
for
there.
that, did you see that?
pardon me?
We submitted something to
I have not
NDOT
seen
like
that.
that?
I submitted it
Yeah, we
myself, George.
submitted that.
Okay, I'd like a copy if you did.
Yeah.
I'm sure that.
This has gone on ever since it went in.
Yeah, so we did listen to you on that, and we all went out and looked at it, and we, as a group, decided to submit something for that.
I
So
wrote the letter and everybody signed it and we submitted it to the state.
Yeah,
So-
Okay.
and so that was kind of where unfortunately, we were told that was the extent of what we have not, I don't think we've heard anything back yet.
Well,
But I
anything
wanted to
on the
bring that up.
city side is not the state's prerogative on how wide that street needs to be.
Okay.
They have to follow code.
Yeah.
George, we followed through.
Yeah.
That's all
Okay,
I'm
I'd like a
saying.
copy of the letter.
Yeah, but
Their
then I
administrative
was
code,
addressed.
2.6, they have to notify all property owners. They messed up my access on 729 and 733 Great Basin Boulevard. I ended up paying for another permit, which they said the first one wasn't there. I had an access before, and then they said it was illegal. I bought the property from Mr. Ginoli. I don't think Mr. Ginoli would do anything illegal, but I paid the $500. Then they wanted $1,700 to take out the new curb and gutter sidewalk. I paid to take that out, but I want my money back. They're not following their roads, their regulations. It's within the city of Ely. Again, we all have the same rules. On their administrative code 2.7 regarding an ADA, not only did they mess up on the corner of my motel, but if you walk on the portions that have been done, they are not ADA compliant. Once you access that ADA ramp, you should be able to go left or right. You cannot on every corner. They gotta do something. On September 13, 2021, I wrote Regina Pierce, NDOT project engineer, about these concerns. I'm still waiting for an answer. On Avenue L and Great Basin, they're blocking ADA access. Put in a light pole, there's no ADA ramp. On Great Basin and Avenue K, I call it a bolt. They encroached on the city right away. It was supposed to be corrected. No unsafe situations like we had in the past. On Avenue M and Great Basin, they did the same thing. That should have come before you guys or the city council. Did not. That's another view. On Avenue D, you have to have a permit to park behind
Okay.
the
We'll have to wrap up,
sidewalk.
George.
They want one from me. Here's somebody who parked their balls on the other side of the sidewalk. Where's the
Okay.
permit there?
Time's up. Thank you.
Well, I want some answers.
Thank you.
I don't want to be thanked, Chairman. I want some answers.
Okay, I must ask, any more public comment?
Did I mention the choir building still hasn't got a permit across the road here?
Time is up.
It sure is.
Okay, now we go on to adjournment. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I will make that motion.
Jason? Motion made, Andy is seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? You're adjourned. The ADA, curb, everything else would be more of as part of the transportation situation. We had no authority over it.
So make the vote.
Avenue, well, okay.
This has been a Georgetown production. George Chachis reporting.